Hi, my name's Helene. I've been coming to First Assembly for several years, several decades, and I wanted to report my recent healing. It was pretty frightening. I didn't let it overcome me, but a couple months ago I had my mammo. I usually have a mammo every year, according to the doctor's, instructions, and no history in my family of any, cancer. But I was called back and I was asked to come back for because of a mass that they were telling me about, and I just, the peace of God just came over me when I heard that over the phone, and I just began praying for myself, laying hands on myself, and just rejoicing, that I knew that wasn't, it was a bad, testimony. So I went for the second one, and was told to go for a ultrasound as well. I've never had these before, but the whole time the Spirit of God was just, dealing, with my spirit about, rejoice, rejoice, just keep rejoicing. And I was, and so I had the mammogram, and then I went in to have the ultrasound. I'm just shaken. And the doctor says, with the technician, he goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I was told I had mass." And he goes, "Oh," and they just, kept checking, and he goes, "I don't see a mass." He says, "I see a cyst." He says, "and it appears to be benign." And I just said, "Oh, thank God." I said, "I know that that's, a witness, that the Lord's healed me." I said, because I know there was a mass, I felt something. And he goes, "No, you have a benign cyst. I can tell just by looking at it." And he said, "Well, we're going to check you in 6 months." And I just want to rejoice because the peace of God was just, flowing through me until I went to that second, mammogram. And I know he touched me, and I know he heals. And, it's something I want to, just rejoice about.
I'm sitting here with my second child, Sarah, and my testimony is really about her life and what God has done for me as a mother. Let's see, when Sarah was 2 years old, she didn't talk, and she was my second child, so I didn't think too much about it. I was basically in denial. Shortly after that, we got a diagnosis on Sarah, that she was diagnosed with PDD, autism, and I'm sure you can imagine those are not the words that any parent wants to hear. She didn't even call me mommy until she was 4.5 years old, and I can never ever forget that day. And again, I never thought that Sarah would live a normal life. And look at my beautiful daughter, and I mean, God is so faithful. That's my message. I just don't stop praying for your children and His will be done. No matter what, no matter what circumstances you're in. Sarah just spent the last 3 months in Haiti. She came back in January. She's serving the Lord. All my children are serving the Lord. Can I tell you it was easy? No. Is God faithful? Yes. And don't stop praying.
My name is Christine, and I'm here to give God the glory. About 17 years ago, I was involved in a car accident, and was in coma for 3 days. Spent 1 year in the hospital, and things were really not going well. I went through 5 surgeries, and my doctors reached a time when they said, that's all we could do. In 2006, was summertime. I was seated somewhere enjoying the sun, and one of the ladies came to me asking me about things in Africa, environment and all that. And then all of a sudden, she switched to asking me about my hand, and I told her what happened. I didn't know what was going to happen next. It was just a normal conversation. Then, we all separated, and I went to where I was going. The following day, I got a phone call from her boss calling me to her office. And all I was told was, Christine, we are offering you surgery free without any single coin. My hand was always tied up. I could not open it. The nerves were completely dead. Went to the hospital, went through the surgery. Now I can give God the glory. After like 8 years now, I'm able to do everything that I could not do at that time.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I was having problems with my sciatica and my hips, and I was having pain, and one Sunday at church, I had decided to go up and have someone pray for me, and I came up to Mary, who was up in the front, and she prayed through God for me, and she touched me, and when I left after speaking with her, and God healed me, and I started skipping up the aisles. I haven't had pain since.
When I was in the operating room, I said to the Lord that I wasn't afraid to be with him, and I heard a voice saying, don't be afraid, that I am by your side. And there was nobody else around. I'm looking around to see whose voice it was. So it was unbelievable to hear that voice. And I'm telling you, if you didn't hear it, I've heard it. You have to believe in Jesus. He's there, and he'll be there forever.
My name is Lorraine Alini, and I know Jesus is alive because my father left my mother pregnant with me 29 years ago, and he ran. I've spent half of a lifetime full of questions and heart pains growing up without a father figure. Every birthday, every Christmas, I turned to anything that I could use to get rid of the pain or being abandoned. Alcohol, boyfriends, dance clubs, parties on my teenage years. Some days I just wish I would stop feeling and go numb. And Jesus showed me what it feels like to have a father. That's why he's alive to me that way.
My name's Carol Peterson, and I wanted to give my testimony because I wanted to say how many times I have needed an answer to prayer, or I have needed God, and he's gone ahead of me and he's prepared the way. By the time I got to the part where there was the problem, or there was the anxiety, or there was just the enormous point of, Lord, what do I do? And I looked at that situation, and the Lord was already there. He had already taken care of what was needed. He had already put the people that I needed to talk to in the place. He had already been there ahead of me and set the whole thing up for me. So I know God has a plan for our life. I know that plan has been there for me since I was a little child. And now that I'm older and wiser, and I look back, I just see the road. I see what he has done. I see the way he has paved it. And I just give him all the glory. And I just say, whatever problems you have, let the Lord go ahead of you and trust him. Don't trust what you can see, but trust whom you know.